Well, hello again. My name is Hudge Fuskins, and I am the Poet Laureate of the village of Lepetta Main Springs here in Norfolk. It's funny, I was just thinking, it's funny how your goals change as you get older. When I was 20, I thought I'd like to have my own farm. Then when I was 30, I thought, well, I'll be happy with just a small holding. Then when I was 40, I thought, well, maybe I'll just have my own allotment. Now I'm 50. Well, I just want to have one night where I don't have to get up twice to go for a wee. So I'm going to share with you today a little poem about another man whose life didn't work out quite how he thought that might, but then he got a chance of redemption. And if you thought the pun was bad at the end of my last poem, you're going to hate this one. Here we go together. It was a quiet day in the countryside, and Kenny was feeling rough, because he'd been on the whiskey the night before and on the toilet since he got up. He came down the stairs in a terrible tears, but he had to pretend to be well, because if his wife knew that he'd been on the booze, she'd have put him through absolute hell. "My Kenny," she said, "you look very pale. Do you think that your stomach's unsettled?" And Kenny thought, my stomach is probably outside where I threw up and fell in the nettles. He said, "I just need a hair of the dog. I mean some fresh air in my chest." And the missus said, "Good, you can mow the front lawn. Here's your toast, go upstairs and get dressed." So Kenny, he dragged himself out the back door, down the step, along the path to the shed, where he sits on the floor and he draws a deep breath and he puts both his hands on his head. "She used to be lovely," he says with a sigh. "She used to think I was a saint. Now she thinks I'm a cross between a lawnmower, a mechanic, a hammer and a tin of paint. It used to be love, now it's moaning and shouting. I'll leave her if she moans much more." Then he lifts up his head, and what should he see but his 12-year-old son by the door. "I hope you didn't misunderstand me," he say, and a smile crossed the face of his son. "I heard what you said, now give us 10 quid or I'm going indoors to tell Mum." Well, the hours go by and the headache subsides and the grass is a bit shorter now, and the paper boy's been, and the front page it says that today is the Lord Mayor's show. Now, a part of the day is a bloody great race. It's like a mini Grand National through town. And the advert says, "Enter the Huntsman's Cup. Get a horse and then put your name down." As a young man, Kenny was known for his skill as a jockey, an excellent rider. But then he got tempted by women and wine and vodka and cocktails and cider. Now here is a chance to revisit those days. "I'll show my wife I've got some class. I'll come home tonight and I'll hand her that cup and I'll tell her to shove it on the mantelpiece." He storms in the house and says, "I'll win that cup. I'll prove to you I'm still a good 'un." And a voice says, "That's nice, but your wife is next door. You stormed in the wrong house, you grit puddin'." Next stop was the stables in town that are owned by an old friend of Kenny's named Tony. But the only available horse he got left is Fluffy, a small Shetland pony. "He won't let you down in the race," Tony says. "I know he might look like a slow 'un, but he can fly round the track like the best of the bunch. You won't stop him once he get going." So Kenny takes Fluffy and heads for the track, with his coat and his jodhpurs and all. It all used to fit him at college, but now it's about 7 sizes too small. There are beautiful jockeys resplendent in silk, and they climb on their horses with ease. And then Kenny pulls up alongside them on Fluffy, and his shoulders come up to their knees. "You laugh all you like, but we'll see who's the best. Great things can come in small packs." And even the horses are laughing so hard that the men nearly fall off their backs. It's 3 o'clock now and the starting gun goes, and the horses take off like a shot. Poor Fluffy's legs move so fast they're a blur, just to keep up with them at a trot. Fluffy is flying, they're doing okay, till they come up towards the first jump. And then Fluffy stops dead, but Kenny flies on, and he lands in the hedge with a bump. Fluffy's laid down, all hope seems lost, but there's still a smile on Kenny's face, as he looks at the flowers around him and thinks, "There's a way I can still win this race." Well, 4 hours later, the wife's in the kitchen, making the boy tidy up, when in through the door comes Kenny, all smiles, holding the Huntsman's Cup. "My Kenny, how on earth did you finish the race? They told me you fell off your horse." "Well, I did, but I was surrounded by flowers, so I just rhododendron, of course." There you are, I've finished. You can bugger off now.